Alright, Shalom, I'm the brother Siyot, coming back with another video. Before I start off, I would like to give all praises and the highest honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles of Great Millstone, who teach and rule well. Peace and salutation to the sincere Akim across the world, who will spread this knowledge in truth and sincerity, and may the election be upon your households. Khan Shalom. So today I want to make a video of a so-called outbreak of a disease, but the article is in Dutch, so I'm gonna make this video in Dutch. But to just explain it in a short, with how do you say that? Yeah, just short as possible in English. It's concerning a disease called the Marburg virus, which has been found in Equatorial Guinea, and it says that 9 people have died of it, and 16 more people, I believe, are contaminated with it. But it says here that it was a few days ago that it broke out. But I found also another basically source and article. We go below. It says that already in Ghana last year the same disease was found, the Marburg virus. It says here, if you look at the date, Sunday 17 July of 2022. So this virus is actually some kind of virus like Ebola, which now has occurred in what was the country again? Equatorial Guinea. Okay, and basically that is what the scripture says, man. You know, in Luke 21, let me see, verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences. And pestilence is a disease, you know, and this is what would happen in the end times, because when you go to verse 7, it says, and they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? You know? So there will be pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Now when you go into that word pestilence, it says pestilence, it says a fatal epidemic disease, especially bubonic plague. Now, an epidemic disease is a disease that is in a certain area, you know. When you look up the word epidemic, and I know I said I was gonna do the video in Dutch, but I'm just explaining these things in English first. Let me see. Epidemic. It says a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community at a particular time. Of a disease occurring widely in a community at a particular time. So an epidemic is something basically that is limited to a certain region, as it says here. A disease outbreak is an Salakia. That is another word, Salakia, that is endemic. But anyway, an epidemic is just a disease that is in a certain area, a certain country, a certain part of a continent, you know, not necessarily over the whole world. So going back to the article, it's in a Dutch. I'm gonna read the article in a Dutch and then explain a few things. And, you know, Lord willing, it shall be edifying. So it says, 9 doden door uitbraak Marburg virus in Equatoriaal Guinea. In Equatoriaal Guinea is voor het eerst een uitbraak van het Marburg virus geconstateerd. De uitbraak van het besmettelijke virus heeft tot nu toe aan 9 mensen het leven gekost, meldt de Wereldgezondheidsorganisatie. So it says 9 people have been killed or have died of this virus. Vermoedelijk zijn er nog 16 mensen besmet met het virus. So they think that there are 60 more people contained with this virus. Ze hebben symptomen als een zogeheten hemorragische koorts en hevige bloedingen in het braaksel en de ontlasting. So people who get the disease have blood in their shit, when they go to the toilet, or when they puke. De besmettingen zijn volgens de autoriteiten van het land terug te voeren op een uitvaart in de provincie Kien Tem in het noorden van het West-Afrikaanse land. So they say, the disease comes from this Kien Tem in the northern part of a West African country. Bijna 200 mensen zijn in quarantine geplaatst. De WHO heeft middelen beschikbaar gesteld om een verdere uitbraak te voorkomen en om zorgmedewerkers te voorzien van goed materiaal. So the WHO has their means basically to prevent another outbreak. Overlevingskansen, so survival chances. Het is een heel dodelijk virus en het ziektebeeld begint heel abrupt. Uiteindelijk kunnen al je organen uitvallen en interne bloedingen ontstaan, zegt Alma Tostman, epidemioloog in het Radboud UMC in het NOS Radio 1 journaal. So they say it's a deadly virus and it's very abrupt, in the beginning, and eventually all your organs can fall out and you can have eternal bleedings even. De epidemioloog stelde de overlevingskansen van het virus samenhangen met de snelheid waarmee mensen behandeld worden. So the sooner you get treated, the more of a chance you have to survive, they say, And of course, man, you don't know with these diseases if it's true or not, or if it's, laboratory made, or if it's really a disease which really occurred the way they told it. But the point is that the Most High said that he would bring diseases, and this is part of prophecy. Diseases coming to this planet, pestilence. And when you look up the word pestilence, like we just did, it goes into disease as an epidemic. What did it say? A fatal epidemic disease. And an epidemic is like a disease in a certain area. So that means that it doesn't have to be diseases like the coronavirus, which was over all the planet, but also diseases in certain areas, the different types of diseases, man. So that is prophecy still. Anyway, reading on. De epidemioloog stelt dat de overlevingskansen van het virus samenhangen met de snelheid waarmee mensen behandeld worden. Als je de symptomen vroeg kunt bestrijden, dan vergroot je de overlevingskansen. Daarom is het zaak dat je er in een vroeg stadium bij bent en dat je snel een beeld hebt van de omvang. Like I just said, it's important to be there as quick as possible to prevent somebody from dying, basically. A family van Ebola is a family of the Ebola virus, they say. Het virus zit in fruitvleermuizen die een spanwijdte kunnen hebben van wel 1,5 meter. So they say the virus is in this animal. A fruit bat, basically. And his wings from left to right can grow up to like 1.5 meters. Let me see, where's the article? Wat je in Afrika ziet, is dat iemand door zo'n vleermuis besmet raakt. Soms blijft het bij een incident en soms ontstaat er een uitbraak. So they say somebody in Africa gets contaminated with it. Sometimes it's just an incident and sometimes an outbreak comes to pass. Het Marburg-virus komt uit dezelfde virusfamilie als het dodelijk Ebola-virus. So they say the Marburg virus comes from the Ebola virus, the family of the Ebola virus. Net als bij dat virus dragen mensen het onderling aan elkaar over via lichaamsvloeistoffen zoals bloed en speeksel. So you get a disease by blood and spit. Basically, when you sleep with somebody, you kiss with somebody, or through your blood. Het virus werd in 1967 ontdekt. So the virus is very old, from 1967, you see? Ontdekt toen laboratoriumpersoneel, of course people from the lab, vooral in het Duitse Marburg de ziekte opliep na contact met besmet weefsel van apen uit Uganda. So they say that it all started with the contact of contaminated tissue from monkeys out of Uganda. So like I just said, it is a disease that, has already been there, but it's just now basically time for it to come out again. So basically, I just read the scripture I wanted to read in the beginning, Luke 21, verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, So great hunger is also going to come, which is already in certain countries, It says earthquakes in diverse places, like the one that happened in Turkey, which that it might be, from the HARP, the harp, because at the same time, when Turkey basically was not down with Sweden and I believe Norway, Sweden and Finland, Slovakia, joining the NATO, then a few weeks or days later they got struck by the earthquake, man. So nothing. I don't think it was a coincidence, of course. But anyway, reading on, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Okay, so there's a lot of things to come, a lot of prophecies that have to come to pass, but we are at the end. We are gearing up towards the returning of Yahushai. Okay, so eventually the major prophecies that have come to pass, the MOTB, the RFID chip, which they will implement into our bodies, try to implement it into our bodies. You cannot buy, you cannot sell anything unless you have this. You cannot travel. You are very restricted without this, And the World War III is coming, That is when the chariots are going to come, the so-called UFOs, and they are going to beam up the elect, save the elect from the World War III, and the rest is, just gonna be left there, man. That is what we're waiting on. Anyway, I hope it was edifying. With that, I want to give all praises and the highest honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the sincere Akim across the world who are spreading this knowledge in truth and sincerity. And may the election be upon your households. Shalom.